Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to cover sections 5.6, which are applications. So, I want you to take a moment and read the first problem. So we have, it says you have $1,200 and you spend 20% of it. So to ask you a two-part question, how much you have left and how much did you spend? Well, how much you have left. So when I think of how much you have left, if you spent 20% of it, that means you have 80% of it left. So what I'm going to do is I must take 1,200 times 0.80, or you don't really need the zero. I'm going to kind of take that out. Okay, so 0 and 0, or 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1, 1 times 8 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And since I've got one decimal, I'm going to put one decimal. So that means you have $960 left. Now, so how much did you spend? Well, if you go back to the 1,200, we're spending 0.2 or 0.20. So 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. We got one decimal here. So the answer is 240. Now notice something. If you want to check your work to see if you've got it correct, if I take 960, that's how much I have left, plus how much I spent, 240, it does equal 1,200. Okay, Bob had $2,000 and spent $700. Okay, so what percent did he spend? What percent does he have left? Well, if he spent 700, we put this as a ratio out of 2,000. You can divide this by 100, or I'm going to just need to add another 0 because it's 2,000. So what I want to do is I want to cross the zeros, and what is left is 7 over 20. Now, if you have your calculators, this equals, if you take 20 goes into 7, 0.35. What percent? Remember, we always, I repeat, always, when you're looking for percent, multiply by 100%. Your answer is 35%. So just by looking some mental math, I know, okay, 35% from 100% would give me 65%. That's how much he has left, but let's see if that works out like that. So if he spent 700, that means he's got 1,300 left. I'm going to cross out a pair of zeros, so it gives me 13 over 20. If I divide that, that gives me 0.65. Multiply this by 100%, and you get the 65%. So both of those equal 100%. Okay, some of us in here may have bought a house before. This is a pretty good one to see. Usually with houses, they want you to at least put a 20% down payment so you wouldn't have to put, or So you wouldn't have to pay what is PMI. But Amy just has to pay, she's just put down 12% of some kind of number. So if she has a down payment of $15,000, and this is 12% of whatever the total cost of her house was that she is purchasing, how much did Amy pay for the house? Well, if we go back to what when we're translating and solving equations, if she has 15,000, and remember is the equal sign, and then 12%, I'm going to just make that in a decimal, 0.212 for 0.12 is the cost of the house. Maybe you put M. Okay, so next, I want to solve, so I'm going to divide by 0.12. And if you do this in your calculator, you should get 125,000. That's how much the cost of the house was. And you can always go back and multiply it by 0.12, and that should give you what the down payment was. It's kind of reversing it. Okay, now finally, I can get all this in there. You start off with $1,000 at the beginning of May and end up with $1,600 at the end of May. So how much amount was this an increase? Well, if you go from $1,000 to $1,600, it's $600. What is the percentage increase? Well, this is where, and some of us that are going to be taking any kind of business type math, this is a good one, formula to use. You take your, whatever your new value is, subtract the old value, put it over the old value, and just like with anything we're dealing with percentages, you multiply it by 100%. So my new value, that means what did I end up with? 1,600. What did I start off with? 1,000. That's my old value. And over 1,000. So if I do this math, 1,600 minus 1,000 is 600 over 1,000. I'm going to cross out that. That's 6 over 10. 6 over 10. I can divide it each by 2, which gives me 3/5. So 3/5, if you put in your calculator, 0.6. Multiply by 100%. And you get 60% increase. Okay, thank you for listening to my videos. Be looking for my next section, which will be 8.1. Thank you very much.